What is up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another fun-filled Spectator Mode Podcast. I'm your host, Keith Mitchell, and the screen looks a little different today because I got some friends here from different places that we're going to talk about some cool gaming stuff. And, of course, Scott is here because Scott, Scott wins in life. And damn it, Scott.
He lives here.
So, Scotty at the bottom, we got Baron from LV1 Gaming. How are you doing, Baron?
You know what? I'm living the dream. I have plenty of new games to play, but I continue to not do that.
Are you still playing Elden Ring?
Oh, no. I refuse. Honestly, I beat Elden Ring once and uninstalled it. I was like, nope. I'm not doing this.
I should have did that, but I didn't.
Nope. I'm not doing this to myself. I refuse. There's too much of that game. There's so many bosses I didn't beat. Oh, but no, I refuse.
All right, fair enough. And we got Jeff from Analog Stick Gaming. What's going on, Jeff?
Well, I've been sick for about 2 weeks, but I'm not sick of video games.
I mean, can you ever be sick of games?
Yes.
I don't think so. Unless you just decide not to play video games, but then go on Twitter and complain about video games without actually playing them.
Yeah.
I don't consider those guys very much gamers because I don't see them actually play games.
I'm too busy playing games.
Exactly.
I don't know what they're doing.
All right, folks. So at the beginning of every Spectator Mode podcast, except for the ones we don't do it, we talk about the games that we played this week or the prior week. And honestly, I'm just going to go first because it's just Elden Ring. Because, a certain someone that I know won't let me play anything other than Elden Ring. You know who you are, Jordan. You know who you are. Sorry, Jordan. But other than that, I'm playing a couple games that are under embargo, so I can't really talk about them just yet. I would love to, but I can't. I would love to protect you, but I can't. Not yet. Later on this week. So that said, Scotty Too Hottie, you got this long list. Let's go.
The only reason mine is a long list is because there's a lot of big names. There's one that I can't mention, but I actually...
Where Scott goes. Go ahead, buddy. You got a little bit of echo, though. I just want to let you know you got a little bit of echo going on.
I got an echo? Oh, fun. Okay, maybe I'll put my mic a little farther out. Is that better?
It might be your camera catching it. No,
it might be. You want us to come back to you?
I don't... My camera shouldn't be putting anything.
We'll let you be IT tech. Sorry. We'll go to Baron. Baron, what you got?
For what have I been playing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I've been playing Mountain Blade Bannerlord, the one game that made me actually go out and buy a new computer. But I always jump in and out of it. And for those who don't know, Mountain Blade Bannerlord is a 4X action RPG game. Like, that's probably the easiest way I could describe it. So yes, you can run an entire kingdom. Yes, you can go to battle on your with leading troops like Warhammer style. You can go into a field, 1,000 units at one time.
That looks interesting, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I highly, if you love 4X games, if you love action adventure games, if you love war simulators, you would definitely enjoy Mountain Blade Bannerlord. It looks good. It'll put your computer through the paces. And it's an experience because you will take an army. You will be fighting an army of like 1,000 soldiers, and you and your 400 soldiers in a well-armed keep will definitely hold them off if you could stop their siege engines. And all of this is in real time as you are like classically aiming and measuring the distance with notches on this wood trebuchet, and that's what you use to mark the distance. Like it's totally there for everybody, and it's an amazing experience.
It sounds like you're enjoying yourself.
Oh, it's the reason I get nothing done, and it's been that since it launched.
So is this the only game you played? You haven't torn yourself away from anything?
What else did I play? Oh, I've been playing the Outer Worlds. Never finished it, just because once again, it's too many games, not enough time. And I've been sitting in my room trying out the Fire Stick, the Fire Stick Xbox app, and I've been playing the Outer Worlds, and that is really fun. And I'm kind of mad at myself for not finishing it Pass.
How does the Fire Stick work for you?
Oh, I mean, I've played Starfield on it. I've played The Outer Worlds. I've played Bannerlord because it is on Game Pass as well. It's on PC. And yes, you can play it with a controller. It's not the best way to play it, but it is possible. But yes, so I love the Fire Stick. I tried to play one of the older Battlefields. I didn't even risk going into a newer one. It wasn't enough people in the server, but it was a little bit of a lag. You could see it skipping a bit. But as somebody with decent Wi-Fi internet without hardlining it, it is a very viable option.
That's good. That's good. Anything else?
That I could talk about? Nope.
Okay, fair enough. All right, we'll shoot down to you, Jeff. What you got, man?
Well, one thing I forgot to toss on there, I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty, like Modern Warfare 3. It hit Game Pass because I wasn't going to spend $90 for a 3-hour campaign. So I've been playing like a ton of that, and I've never been terribly great, but I might retire after my last game because I got 10 kills and no deaths by just lucking out. And I finally got to be able to use my final kill streak, which I've never been able to. So I had a 10.0 KD, and that never happens. Like under 1 is kind of where I hover. But no, it's been pretty solid. I mean, a lot of the maps are from all the previous games, so this doesn't really feel like a new multiplayer suite. Even though there's 17,000 menus that want to sell you everything and confuse you at the same time. But that's got to change for the future of Call of Duty, because it's a minefield trying to navigate that game, and just trying to find team deathmatch is just a chore. But no, I've been playing Star Wars Bounty Hunter. This is the remaster from Aspyr, the same team that brought us the absolutely horrible Battlefront collection that came out.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you remaster a bad game. It does not get better. Like they added like a new camera system, and honestly, if you would have told me this was the same bad camera from the previous game, I'd be like, yeah, I totally believe you. It's just not great. Like when you have your target lock and your camera reset as the same button, guess what happens when you don't camera lock on an enemy because they're too far away? It just spins the camera around. And so you're constantly taking damage from tons of enemies that have like, they have better, like honestly, these enemies should be hired by the Empire to replace the Stormtroopers, because they can actually hit you.
Stop. You're hurting me. You're hurting me. Oh my God.
Not
Why
the
does
elites.
a bad game get a remaster? Why? Well, how does that happen?
Because it was cheap. They probably looked at the Star Wars collection that they had, and they said, you can pick anything you want. And they're like, well, I don't want to pick that. That'll be too good. I'm going to pick Bounty Hunter.
Not Jedi Academy?
No, it's just not great. Like the gameplay itself is not great. Like the menus aren't terribly great. Anytime you want to use any of the types of like items and stuff you have, they're never really viable. Like trying to like lasso a guy with like the little cable and stuff, you're constantly getting hit. You can scan to get bounty hunter targets, but it's just easier to just kill everything, because like it's like, oh, you got $2,000 for your bounty. Okay, what does the $2,000 get me? Nothing? Cool. All right. Like it's weird. Like it's such a weird game that just does not, like, a lot of people are like, oh, I used to love playing that back in the day. Well, you probably remember loving it to a certain point, but the reality is you're like, fuck this game, and then like, you know, frustrating yourself through it. And I've been watching like a YouTube video of the playthrough, so I can always see how close I am to beating it, and the sweet like release of joy I'm going to get when I don't have to play it anymore. Yeah, I am really not digging it. I mean, I never played it when it came out. But if this remastered is a better way of playing it, then I really don't want to play the original. It's, I don't know, like as a remaster, if their intent was to preserve what that game was, they've nailed it.
Mission accomplished, boys.
But, at the end of the day, for me, like a game still has to be fun.
So
And
Jeff
if you
just
take
jumped on the show. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go all in. Sorry,
Yeah,
no
like,
regrets.
if you take a look at a remaster, like, or even a remake, like a slight remake, like SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, that game looks and feels like you remember it, even though it's drastically better than what it was. They made it extremely playable without losing the essence of what that game was at the start. This game, if you put Bounty Hunter PS2 side by side with this, you'd be like, yeah, it looks better. It's widescreen, textures have been cleaned up, all that stuff. It does everything you want a remaster to do. But at the end of the day, for me, a game still has to be fun. If you are putting the effort towards a game, it has to be fun. And if you are preserving frustration, that's not fun. So, I don't know. If people are wanting an untouched, almost nearly untouched experience with that game, you'll get it, for better or for worse.
And that said, I do apologize if you heard my lovely daughter come in here just a couple seconds ago, because I did make a comment on Twitter saying that my wife will let me stay in my room for as long as I want to do whatever I want. That does include my kids. They don't care. Doors shut, they don't care.
Yeah.
But they're kids, love them. All right, Scott, you sound like you fixed your microphone issue. Go ahead.
Yes, I have fixed. I hopefully fixed it. I don't
was it your webcam?
No, I had a different mic set up. I didn't think I had set up.
See, look at him. He's got so many mics. He doesn't know what he's doing. All right,
I have 4 different mics. Okay, I'm sorry.
Why do you have 4?
I got one that works, one I use where I'm lazy, and then I have 2 both embedded in the webcams.
Tech savvy.
Just in case I want to test anything, or if I want to take
for
a look
every
at stuff.
occasion.
Exactly. Anyways, so I do have 1 game I can't talk about, but I have 3 that I can. Mainly because I've been going through my backlog and kind of not backlog with 1. But so the first game that I've been spending a lot of time the last weekend is Atelier Sophie and the Mysterious Book. For those of you in the Atelier series, it's known as the Mysterious Trilogy. I saw it was on sale, so you get the entire trilogy for like $50. So I decided to grab it on Steam because I have all the Atelier games on PS4 that are available for it. I did grab a lot on PS3 and on PSP. But so I decided I want to take a look at Atelier Sophie because I was actually talking with a friend of mine about the Atelier games, and he was asking like which ones were like my favorite, and I always had Sophie as like my number 1 top game. And he was talking about all the things that had issues with the game, and I was just like, I don't remember that. So I thought I'd actually play the game again and see what the issues are. And I could kind of see some of what people are understanding, but it also, for those of you who are been in the Atelier sphere, Sophie was the first time that actually they removed a lot of the stakes in the beginning of the game. A lot of the earlier Atelier games from this game had what was known as a time limit, where the stakes were always going to be super raised. You had only a certain amount of time to collect all the things that you needed, and you only had a certain amount of times to then alchemize the things you needed to get to the next part of the game, kind of a deal. They removed the time limit. They still have like time and days systems in Sophie, but there's no like limit that actually will force you to have to do something. The only force that there is basically what choices you make. What do you want to make? What kind of thing? It's a lot more free forming. So you can do as fast or as slow as you want. And I've been just speeding through the game. I'm like 8 hours in almost already at like the 3rd recipe book. So nice. It can go really fast when you know how to do things. And because I've been playing Atelier games for so long, I know a lot of how to do things in the game. For those who are newer, Sophie was probably like one of the breath of fresh air because they actually get time to soak in the mechanics, time to understand how alchemy works and how the system will be able to run. And so it's one of the Atelier Sophie was like the beginning of kind of like the reconnaissance or the renaissance of the Atelier games until Ryza came out and just turned it into Goomer Fest.
I tried playing one. It was on the Switch, and I can't remember which one it was.
There's a lot that they ported on the Switch, so I couldn't help with that. But yeah, so I still love the Atelier series. I do like the little cozy and just the ability to just basically play at your own pace, learn the game that you want. And sometimes you can get hit with difficulty spikes if you aren't actually using alchemy as much as you can. Because a lot of the game like systems basically want you to master alchemy. They don't want you to basically grind enemies. They want you to collect the materials, make the equipment, anytime that you lose against a boss, don't go grinding an Atelier game. Go collecting materials and make new things. Make new items, reduce resistances, increase your specs in terms of equipment, because that will do far more for your character than just leveling up. And so that's one of like the harder things for people to understand, is that like most people in the JRPG genre understand how grinding works. When you hit a difficulty spike, you grind your characters up to be in the equal level and then fight the boss. In Atelier, you can be equal levels, but if you don't have like good items or good equipment, you're going to die. And considering most of the best equipment is done through alchemy, you need to learn the system.
So crafting is the core point of this game?
Crafting is a core part of this game, yeah.
I wish I'd have knew that.
There he goes.
Like
games they craft. There he goes.
Wow. Oh, yeah. In Bannerlord, you can craft, and you can run your whole kingdom through crafting and trading, and you'll see your created items in the actual ecosystem. Like you'll go to a city, and somebody would have sold your sword over there, and yeah.
Just reminds me of Animal Crossing when you make a design, and then they're walking around with your T-shirt and stuff. And like, oh, you got my cat butt T-shirt. Oh my god.
Yes. Yeah. So. In the Atelier series, like the alchemy, which is like basically crafting system, that is like the core of the game. You can try leveling up as much as you want, but as soon as like you can, like I went to like a level like 16 enemy at like level 10, got myself killed. Made new weapons, new equipment, still level 10. Went to fight the same level 16 enemy, absolutely demolished the thing.
Say less.
So yeah, so it's still actually on sale. I think that like till like the 7th. So getting just Sophie itself, and he's like $15-$20 right now. So it's really good. I decided I'd check the Koei Tecmo sale just to see if there are games that I wanted, and I'm sad. I'm both glad and sad that I did. My wallet is sad I spent money on it, but I'm glad that I now have those games on Steam. I do need to get more games on my Steam library. I have so much on my PS4 and like Nintendo Switch libraries, and some on my Xbox, but most of my stuff is always PlayStation. But so the next game that I've been playing is Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. I've been going through those games again because Steam got them, and I want to play them on Steam, and obviously I want to see the differences, and there's not a whole lot of differences in the texture designs as much as they've been like enhanced. There's been some upscales, but the upscales don't generally like do a whole lot because the textures are still stylistic textures.
Yeah,
so
they're working with what they got.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I do the Chain of Memories games. I think my favorite one is still the Game Boy version of it, but I still really do like the PlayStation remake of it. I remember as a kid, that was like my biggest want, was for them to remake the Game Boy Advance one on the PlayStation, because I love that one so much. I wanted to see it all in its beautiful 3D glory.
I think I played half of 2 and all of 3, and that's it.
Excuse me.
Happens. Yeah, so Chain of Memories is still good. The card system is always the thing that people dislike because it makes the action a lot less actiony and a lot more strategy based. I loved it because I was always a card player growing up. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, those were like growing up in my lifestyle because I didn't always have access to the TV because my parents would either have the TV or my brother would have the TV. So that's why I'd always go to either my handheld devices or start playing cards. I have dueled myself so many times with Yu-Gi-Oh decks as a kid. But then the last game is I tried to get more caught up on Zenless Zone Zero.
I have not touched that game yet.
I played a lot, and then I just got bombarded with a whole bunch of games and codes and stuff, and I just
there's a ton of new mechanics that start getting after like chapter 2, basically, where they ask you to do so much. Like now you have access to the VR, you have access to the combat tutorials, now you have access to this whole other area of the game. And it's just like there's a lot, which I think that was actually where I stopped initially.
I pretty got
I can't think of anything.
The characters, so I'm just like, is there more characters that it introduced, or is that just it for now?
There will be more characters you get introduced to, but I don't think you get any of them unless you by polling gotcha stuff. So most of the you probably have most of the free to play characters. There's only like one other one you get from doing one of like the side. What's it called? You get one from doing one of the side quests. That's like you have to actually access it and do like a bunch of Hollow Zero missions.
Okay.
And then you get access to another free-to-play character. Most Hoyoverse games do that, where they basically have most of their free-to-play characters access through the story, then they have one through a slightly more difficult event.
Mm.
And so I've been getting more because I've been wanting to get more the poly. I don't even know if they even have like a quick thing to call their in-game currency now. I just call them polys. But getting those to summon more,
or whatever.
Yeah. So I was just doing more of that to get more currency to hopefully summon more, because I'm trying to get Zhu Ran, because I didn't care about the first banner that much.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I've got all the characters that I actually want of the list. I think I'm missing like 4. I think 4 of them are black and white, and then the other ones are all color. Like I've got probably about 7 or 8 characters so far, and I haven't spent any money. I did spend money to get currency, which I thought was going to be the currency I needed to summon, but it turns out to be another currency that you use to supplement the summons.
Yeah, they get you.
Yeah.
No, it's that is one thing Hoyoverse does, is they have like so many premium currencies, and you have to figure out which one's which.
That's why First Descendant. It's like you want this character, you buy this, and then you do that, and then suddenly bikini outfit, you're done.
Yeah. If only. And then some of those currency also only helps with only helps with like their battle passes type thing.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help either. Which I still hate battle passes in all types of games, as much as I play so many live service type things like free to play stuff, because I play all the Hoyoverse games generally, at least to do my dailies. I have not got caught up with Honkai Star Rail at all though. There's been so much story on it now.
Yeah, I tried to get into it and then I just forgot about it, honestly.
Yeah, I hit a spike and then I didn't want to actually build my characters more, so I just stopped. And then I'm pretty sure I probably can now get past it, because I got a bunch of new characters that will actually help, but I haven't cared enough to actually get farther in the story because of it.
Yeah.
Which the story was actually pretty good. It's just I hate difficulty spikes where it just stops you like a DPS check, or in some cases not even a DPS check. It's just like how long can you last check. They just have like survivability checks sometimes.
Ooh.
That's where I'm at with First Descendant. When you go from normal to hard, like the first boss on hard is to the point where if you haven't min-maxed your weapons and reset the weapons and tailored all of the things that you can do to those weapons to make them stronger, if you don't keep that momentum up, you'll never reach the new bosses. And they're like, yeah, we just dropped a new boss. I'm like, yeah, at the other end of the difficulty spike, and it's a nightmare.
Oh, that's so annoying. Yeah, that's one thing to look forward to for anybody who wants to get into free-to-play games, is difficulty spikes are atrocious. Especially if you are actually expected to engage with some of these mechanics or systems they put onto like building characters. But yeah, that's mostly what I've been playing this week.
Mostly. Scott always has a lot of stuff. I go, I got one game, Scott. I've got an entire smorgasbord. But when Matt was on the show, it was like, all right, Matt's got a novel. Oh, miss you, Matt. All right, guys. So let's jump through what we got here. I added one real quick because I think it warrant talking about. A couple weeks ago, I traded in my MacBook and picked up a MacBook Air, and then took that back and picked up one of the Microsoft Surface 7 laptops, the ones that are running the ARM processors. Jeff's like, thumbs up.
Surface is great.
I'm not a big Mac fan. I never have been a big Mac fan.
Yeah,
I love Apple's hardware, but I don't like the OS. Just given because I've been using Windows like forever.
Yeah.
And I've been looking for a viable Windows laptop forever, outside of the Dell laptops, the XPSs, and hit or miss. So is that the new one or
no? This is the one where you can take the screen off and then flip it, toss it on there. So I used it for a lot of art.
Oh, nice.
So the big difference between this one and most laptops is this is a ARM powered laptop from Qualcomm and not the x86 that you would see from AMD or Intel, which is one of the big issues, because you either have to write a program for ARM or you need to be able to translate it from x86 to ARM. And there's a lot of programs out there that still need to be handled. Like, for example, you can't use Adobe Premiere on it, but you can use DaVinci.
Well, you're good.
Yeah, so it's very hit and miss. But So far, I like the laptop. I think it's really high quality. I think it's built very well. I love the fact that one thing that Apple refuses to do is touchscreen. So I'm working. I'm like, scroll, and you can't get it in a MacBook. 2 USB Type-C ports, regular USB port. Does take micro SD cards. It has a reader built in, so I'm like, that's great. It doesn't have an HDMI, which is like, all right, I get that. I love it. My only downside is I don't have it right now because I tried to take it apart and one of the screws was stripped on it. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Of course.
Who over tightened the damn screw? So Best Buy doesn't keep anything in store anymore, so I had to take it back to Best Buy and Best Buy to sell another one out versus me going to the store and go, oh, hey, I want one. Shouts out to you, Microsoft. You always have everything I want, except for the laptop. But all in all, I really think this is a really nice laptop. It's definitely not for gaming, but if you like the Windows ecosystem and you're looking for a decent laptop, after using this for so long, or a couple weeks now, the Qualcomm processors actually are doing what they stated they will do. They're not M3 level, but they are damn close. Battery life is very good. Power is there. Definitely think if you like Windows and you're not a fan of Mac, give these a try. I think you might be surprised. And that's it. Just want to throw that in real quick. All right, so Baron, I know you don't love this. So earlier this week, PlayStation revealed a limited edition Astro Bot controller for the PlayStation 5, and that controller is damn adorable. These things sell for $69.99 and are going up for pre-order as of August 9th. So if you want one of these controllers, get off your asses because these things are going to go very quick.
Do the eyes animate on that little touch screen?
They don't. They're
animate. Just there.
They really whiffed it. Like
I want it.
It would be nice to have the touch screen for LED and to have the lights pop up.
Does it have Astro's butt on the back of the controller?
No, Jeff, we don't have that.
Two misses.
But
right
controllers.
There.
We're in that.
I'm pretty sure somebody could 3D print that and you'll be good to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to have a controller and fill somebody's ass in the back of my controller.
Yeah,
what if it's Eve?
I'm more of a 2D guy
really
myself.
In the experience of Stellar Blade.
Yeah.
Look. This controller is. I would never open it, not even with the intent to sell it, but just because I know it's something so beautiful. I would want to keep it in the box. And I would, dude. I totally would, and I would set it. I would put it on. I'd get a little rack, or I would build one, and then I would just set it there and just stare at it and feel really good about myself. And it wouldn't even be on camera. It would be for me. like I blur the art in the background because it's not for you guys. It's for me. And
this is such a gorgeous controller. I cannot wait for this thing to come out.
Who would have thought they could have made a controller look better than the Spider-Man controller they released? Like,
I mean, how do you know when the Spider-Man?
No, that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, how do you make a bad Spider-Man controller but an amazing Astro Bot?
Well, ask Mad Cats. They probably have.
Wow. Ooh.
I mean, let's be honest.
What was the glove one?
The plates for the PlayStation 5 for Spider-Man weren't that good either. I mean, D-Brand did a way better job. Charged a lot more, but did a way better job. Yeah. I'm looking forward to this controller. It's going to be August 9th. I'm going to be somewhere like, damn it. I need to be home. I got to order the controller.
I know that I'm probably going to miss it. I should order it. I'm going to
buy two. So if you miss it, you'll have one. I'll sell it to you.
Okay. He's like, Mark,
he's justify having another PlayStation controller, though.
Right. I think I already have 3 in the house.
We're not going to talk about extra controllers. We're not.
I started the crusade when the Xbox One came out to buy every single Xbox One controller, and they just started doing stuff. I had probably like 30 of them. I just ended up trading them all in. I'm like, that was a huge epic waste of money.
Yeah, I can't.
Oh my gosh!
Wow!
I'm literally trying to decontroller my room because there's too many controllers in this room. There's way too many controllers in this room. there's too many controllers. But those controllers are $ now. So
Yes.
There you go.
So I don't have any problem with that. So yeah, definitely pick up the controller. DualSense 5 works for your PC, works for your PlayStation 5. Definitely get it. And if you do get it and you don't want it, I'm pretty sure eBay will take it from you. I'm pretty sure they'll take it. So recently, my friend Jordan and I have been playing Elden Ring. Somehow I convinced him to play the game. He blames me, but I didn't convince him to play this game, but he says I did. So, okay. So we've been going through and fighting all the bosses in the base game and fighting the invaders, which has been kind of fun. And it just made me realize just how bad Elden Ring's co-op sucks. I mean, I already knew it was bad, but the thing is, when I played Elden Ring, I didn't really play it with people I knew. I would play with randos or help people beat a boss or a level or something. So it was, all right, whatever, it's done. But when you're playing with somebody you actually know and you're talking and playing this game, you just realize just how bad. Oh, lost Baron. You realize just how bad this game is, right? Because when you're playing it and you have to get summoned into the person's world, and then if they die for any silly reason, it's over. If you die for any silly reason, it's over.
And they'll be invisible, like those like fog walls, or the gray walls, walls that you can't. So you
it's not seamless. The world is not seamless whatsoever, and that is terrible. You go, like you mentioned, you go to a castle and it's like, all right, white fog wall. Now you gotta leave his world so he can go into the world, so he can summon you back in the world. And it's like, you beat a boss. All right, go back to your world. It's over for him to summon you again. It's like this Gunfire Games.
The only reason I didn't give it a 10.
Gunfire Games did this so well.
Lords of the Fallen, a very similar experience in some ways. Like they mastered co-op. They're like, oh, you join and you just play through the whole freaking game.
Yep, it's ridiculous. I don't understand why From can't get this taken care of. Baron's back. He had some internet issues.
Yeah, it definitely needed to be resuscitated.
So yeah, it's just getting very frustrating. I know people have played this game with friends and whatnot, or people they know, and they just regurgitated what I just said. But I just wanted to put it on record that I'm really having a really busted time playing this game, Jordan. I've loved playing the game. It's been fun playing with Jordan. It's been fun showing him the ropes and how to get him on board as being somebody who loves Souls-like games. But this is just getting annoying.
Is there a reason why you guys just never started with the seamless co-op mod?
He wanted to stay. Okay, so when you use the seamless co-op mod, you have to start a new game save, and that game.
I mean, from the start.
Yeah, it's not. So I've been playing this forever. So he wanted me to use my guy and help him go through, and I've got everything. Literally, going through everything.
Nerd. No.
If there was ever a point in time where I had to do it again, then I would do this thing with co-op mod, which, it's probably better to have a conversation with Jordan and go, hey, do you want to do this again from the very beginning? And we just go through it with just our regular characters and use this, because that is a much better experience. The default From Software experience, it's garbage. It's garbage. They're not going to fix it, but in their next game, think about not doing this. There are too many games out there in the Souls-like genre that do what you're doing, but better.
Yeah.
Like Hellpoint.
Oh my God, no, that game is ass.
Oh, I tried that. No.
Don't play Hellpoint. That game is terrible.
Hellpoint is greatness.
And you're a terrible person for bringing that game up.
I have the coin and the physical collector's edition.
The only thing that's good about that is that. That is it.
They made one of them. Congratulations.
It sold what? 200 copies? 2,000
Let's
copies.
Go.
Terrible game. Yeah, From Software. Oh my God, please. All right. This makes me extremely happy. During the THQ showcase that happened a couple days ago, Gunfire Games announced they're working on a new Darksider title. You have no idea how happy I am, because the last one we got, Darksider Genesis, wasn't really the best.
That was made by Airship Syndicate.
Right, but it was
Gunfire Games has only made the third one.
Right, but it's still part of the Darksider series, and it's just like
Wasn't what
why?
you wanted.
Mm.
So
The third one is my least favorite. Like it's still good, but I didn't like it as much. I prefer what Joe Matt and his team did with the first two, and then
But
Genesis.
the puzzle more like a Zelda-like experience. I think Darksiders 3 was more of a I don't want to say Souls-like experience, more of a hack and slash RPG adventure.
Yeah,
that's what 3 was.
Yeah,
but yeah, we're finally getting another one. I hesitate to call it Darksiders 4 because we never know if it's going to be part of the main series or. Well, even then again, back up.
I think it will be. The trailer has those guys that have been in the previous
chart
ones.
console. Yeah. But the reason why I said I hesitate to say that because Darksiders Genesis is still part of the main series. It's a weird. It's like Darksiders 1 until you die at a certain point, and then it's Darksiders 2, Darksiders 3, Darksiders Genesis, and then the rest of Darksiders 1. The story is like all over the place. So, yeah, you can't really play those games in chronological order because you'd be playing them wrong. Because the way the story is. Yeah. So
it'd be interesting to see like who the main protagonist is, or if it's just going to be a thing where like you pick a character and then the other characters just kind of like work around you with the story. So like you could be anyone you want, but
so you played through Genesis, right?
Yeah.
Do you consider that to be a game for Strife or not?
It's a game for both of them because like they're both like the protagonist.
But to see, that's the thing is like every other horseman has gotten a game for themselves except for Strife.
It could be like they could go with Strife, and then like again, like I think that may factor into the type of game it is because like I think making Fury, like I think that was her name, the main protagonist of the third one, it makes more sense that you make that the Souls-like because she's more combat focused in that way. So if they're going with Strife on the next one, he's more gunplay,
which would be amazing. Think about that.
So I think it would be more of almost like, I don't know, them making their Mega Man kind of thing where like it's very focused on like shooting. And then maybe you have the other abilities that kind of like flavor towards that. And I mean, if Stripe kills like a guy that's got a giant scissors on his arm and all of a sudden you see a scissor gun, then they've done what Capcom won't.
So you're saying that they have a layup? Like I'm
really... calling out Capcom.
Yeah,
you wouldn't be the only one. You're not the only one. We know a couple of people that would definitely call it Capcom, right, Josh? But yeah, I'm just excited they really announced this game. It's been a long time coming. The only downside to this is that means they're not going to work on another run the game.
Yeah,
well, it's Embracer, right? Because it's THQ.
Oh.
THQ owns Gunfire Games, and they're part of the Embracer. So yes.
Yeah. So that means it's going to be mildly budgeted.
Don't say it. Well, here's the thing. Gunfire Games is always work with a budget, so
yeah,
they know what they're doing.
They're an extremely talented team. So
yeah, 100%.
I'm still excited to see it, but knowing it's Embracer and they're probably like on cost-cutting measures across the board.
I was extremely pissed off when they were like, we now have Gunfire Games. And I was like, no, why do you have no?
Remnant will never see the light of day.
We'll never see them again, right? They'll go away. It just, somebody needs to get them. Please get them away from the Eraser group. Please. Oh my God, please.
That's like I'm scared to see TMNT Ronin just because it's another Embracer game. And
yeah,
I'm like,
that's true.
But at least it's not Game Mill, right? At least we're going to get a
Turtles
game that's not Game Mill.
We don't need more of those.
Oh, God.
So, over the last couple of days, a popular streamer you may know, Kai Cenat, has been playing a lot of Bloodborne. I don't really follow the guy, but
I don't know who he is.
It's Bloodborne. And
you're making his name up.
The only time that Bloodborne gets brought to the front is great for me because Bloodborne is an amazing Souls-like game from Software that Sony owns the license to, that is just sitting on the license and won't do anything. Won't do a remake, won't do another one.
That's not true. They're selling watches that are
Let me just
Bloodborne
stop.
licensed.
Let me just stop for a second. When they finished Bloodborne and the Old Hunters DLC, they said the story was done. Finito. No more. So everybody's like, we want a Bloodborne 2. They literally just said the story is over. Could you please stop asking for another story? It's over and done.
The story continues in Astro Bot. Did you not see the little tiny hunter?
Yeah, when they did that, that was such a low blow.
We don't need it. So he beat Bloodborne. I bet he didn't do everything. I'll give him that. He kind of
did the main story, but he didn't do a lot of the side stuff or the DLC.
Didn't
you purist?
No. Yeah. You're right. I am a purist. I am. I'm going to say that I am. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to
summons disqualified.
No, I love
that
summons.
far.
I got a thing with people bitching about summons. You're allowed to use summons. You're allowed to use anything in that game to help you beat the game. End of the line. If you say you can't use summons in any Souls-like game, you're stupid.
Yeah.
When the developer of the game said, I can't beat this game without some help,
then yeah,
that's telling you
for
something.
everybody.
For everybody, just stop it. But I will say this: I don't follow a lot of streamers, but I love the fact that he is embracing the Souls-like games. He did Elden Ring, he's now doing Bloodborne, which is a disservice to himself because he should have did Bloodborne first, then played Elden Ring. Because now he's noticing, wow, this game is a little slow, doesn't have as many things in here.
A little more dated.
Yeah, a little more dated. So
he just
maybe
gets stuck at that tower where the guy keeps shooting you, and he's like,
oh, I hated that part. Oh, frick, I hated that part.
I climbed up the ladder, and then he's like, who is this? Then he fell.
But I really hope that he does, if he continues this trend. I don't think he's helping or making Sonny paying attention to it. Sonny's probably going,
who's this guy?
But I'm glad to see that he has embraced this and that he is having other people go, hey, there are other games out there. This game sounds interesting. And then they pick up the controller and 10 minutes later, they go, you know what? This game's not for me. And he put it down.
I mean, he bought himself a full-on hunter outfit, too, to play
Bloodborne,
which was fun.
Oh, is this that guy that had that 100-hour marathon and then he Bloodborne his entire room?
Yeah.
And he was doing the Michael Jackson moonwalk.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I seen the clip.
So
that's the guy.
I'm glad that he's enjoying himself. Yes, I'm glad he's enjoying himself. And if you're going to play some voice
survive,
I don't know what that is. I haven't had mine in 2 weeks.
Wow, it was like you can't talk anymore. Yes. I really hope that if you play something else, it better be Dark Souls 3. Don't play that.
I was hoping he'd go play Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced, so that he could
shine a light on the tactics.
Yeah, well, because there's been a resurgence. So
we're getting a remake of Final Fantasy Tactics, though. It's already done. We don't need him.
No, but I mean Tactics Advanced with the card system and the judge system, and look. I need Kai Cenat to go and play. I got a list of games I need him to play. Like if he's gonna be our hero,
we need you to.
He's played Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen.
All these
go to Paris
now.
Yeah.
Look, I think we need to embrace this new tool that is this incredible content creator. I'm all about using all of our resources. And if he's going to be here for the gaming space, if he leads to an announcement that they're doing something with Bloodborne,
God. It will never stop. Internet
he will get games mailed to him daily.
It's just going to be a Chipotle thing like Jeff Keighley did. It's like, and speaking of this game, and people lost their mind, Chipotle.
All I know is if you got a list, Neratana better be on that list. If it's not,
Golden Sun loving,
put it on there.
Golden Sun, there you go. Now Scott's talking my language. But
wait, no, this is Nintendo. Nintendo does not care. You just Nintendo.
They cared enough to get Metroid Prime 4 finally.
I still don't believe it.
Does not care about.
I still don't think it's real. I'm sorry.
I made it in dreams.
Oh my god!
Media Molecule is coming to Nintendo.
Ooh, we.
Man,
You
know
would
what?
think they would actually work. I mean, this is the same people who sold us cardboards. Like they definitely can make it happen.
Cardboard. You know, I never. They were like, hey, buy this. Like, I can buy pizza and eat the pizza and have cardboard boxes. I'm good.
I
But
still
so
I
does
still love the
cardboard.
story where like they had that VR kit with the cardboard and stuff, but then the cleaning people ended up thought it was garbage and then threw it out. So they didn't have it for their expo or whatever, and they had to literally have someone like drive like a whole new set of all that stuff. It's so funny.
Man.
Wow.
So this is a topic. I was really trying to make this show an hour and a half. Let's see how long we can stretch this, baby. So
4.5 hours. Let's go.
let's do it. I mean, some of my favorite podcasts can do it. We can do it. Let's go. Right. So, Phantom Blade Zero. I'm pretty sure some of you have heard about this game. Some of you have heard about me talk about this game and singing the game's praises because we played it at Summer Game Fest.
Yes.
So there was a recent event called China Joy, which took place, in China. And apparently, one of the developers who is nameless basically stated that he, for so many words, he doesn't like Xbox. He stated that nobody needs his platform, and people took that as being that this game was not coming to the platform, and they ran with it. Like, Hail Mary, touchdown, run with it. And I was at a certain website, which will remain nameless, and I was like, I don't know where you're getting your information from, but this is not what the developer said. And I talked to the developers. I talked to them multiple times at Summer Game Fest. Ask Scott. I would not leave that area. I kept going back.
They knew you.
We were talking very well. And after I got them playing, I was talking to the CEO. So I knew them pretty well. And when we were talking to the CEO, he basically said that right now this game is being developed for PlayStation 5 and PC. We have not ruled out other platforms. This is not a PlayStation 5 exclusive title.
No.
But
there you go.
People kept saying that it is, and then this nameless developer, who we don't know who the hell he is because he's nameless, basically had his own agenda, which was, it happens in the gaming space. But I had left it alone, and then today, before the podcast, our buddy here, Jeff, was like, "Hey, look at this." So this was directly from the Phantom Blade Zero Twitter account.
Yep.
Recently, we noticed that there are some media outlets that have claimed to have interviewed an unnamed developer from S Game at China Joy, who seems to have made some comments or some statements regarding the release platforms and strategy for Phantom Blade Zero. We want to clarify that these statements do not represent S Game's values or culture, and we believe in making our own game accessible to everyone and have not ruled out any platforms for Phantom Blade Zero. We are hard at work on both the development and publishing fronts to ensure many players as possible can enjoy our game at release and in the future. Our team is looking forward to sharing more development updates soon, and we are excited to bring our world premiere demo to Gamescom this month, which is, yes, they stated that this game will be playable yet again at Gamescom, which sucks because I can't go to it. But again, this echoes what the CEO had told me, that they have not ruled out any plans for other platforms. And other platforms, we mean Xboxes. It ain't coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
But it's just ridiculous how when they stated it wasn't coming to Xbox, this guy, whoever the heck this person is, or girl, whoever this person is, stated that they didn't need Xbox, that the toxic Xbox haters came out of woodwork saying Xbox is trash, nobody needs Xbox, this game's PlayStation exclusive, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And it's sad that this continues to happen. And we have people who perpetuate this by writing junk that they have not sourced properly and act like they are the creme of the creme. And they're just doing nothing but making people more upset at game journalists.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that site is
Making it
even
harder for
deleted.
Upset.
Everybody.
That site's
else.
even deleted their original post as well too. It's gone.
Yeah. So now the question comes down is, do you want to know the full story of this interview?
No, I don't.
I found the article that they had the interview from. I have seen the actual statements, and in no way did they actually say nobody needs an Xbox. That was a mistranslation from the Brazilian outlet that went with it.
Of course.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the actual interview and some of the actual things that was stated. So the developer itself was discussing about Sony and how they are with basically working with a Japanese company. And they were very ecstatic about it for two main reasons. One, they had engineers that they would actually outsource from PlayStation that would help them with actually optimizing the game for running on the console, as well as optimizing the game for running on PC. So they got a lot of people to help with optimizations, with engineering, with the structures and the refirms. And the second thing they stated that they loved about working PlayStation is PlayStation helps them market the game.
Ooh.
So
can you repeat that? Can you repeat that?
PlayStation is helping them market the game.
Marketing the game. Okay.
So when they then asked about Xbox, they didn't really know a whole lot about it. As far as they knew in Asia, there was no demand for anything in Xbox's court. They didn't know about Xbox. Because guess what? Xbox is very little known outside the US. Who would have thunk?
I hate that. I hate
it. And we went over this last podcast that Xbox has so little marketing funds outside the US.
Can I tell you guys that is my number one thing that I've been saying for years? Like, that has always been, and then people argue with me. They're like, "Oh no, Baron, it's the development. Oh, maybe the game just wasn't fun." I was like, Flappy Bird had better marketing than any of the major AAA games that came out of Xbox in the last 5 years.
And that is a big issue of Xbox. It will continue to be an issue in Xbox until they realize that, hey guys, you got to spend money to make money. And I don't know.
Yeah. So the actual comment that was stated in it had nothing to do with nobody needs an Xbox. It was the Xbox is a platform that has not found demand in Asia. That was the thing that got mistranslated into Brazil, into Portuguese, that then got translated to English.
Into Simlish.
And we got a whole game of telephone playing around here.
Yeah.
Where they took that and just rolled with it. So all of these outlets that have been saying, this person said, Xbox, nobody needs an Xbox, is not doing their sourcing correctly. They
you know why it ran? You know why? Do you know why this ran the way it did? You all know why this is.
Engagement.
Yeah.
Okay,
SEO is going to be the death of us.
What's the other one? Come on.
Fuel the fire.
What's the other one?
Console Wars.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no reason for this. Yet we still have people perpetuating this garbage. This is complete and utter garbage. It needs to stop. But yet, hey, we figured we get some clicks. We start some fires. We piss off some peoples. We get some engagement in our forums and on our Reddit and our Discords, and here you go. But hey, when it comes out and it comes out and it's like, hey, you were wrong. This is a lie.
Doesn't matter.
No. But I think it also shows the weaknesses and the strengths of PlayStation and Xbox, because a lot of people who work with PlayStation, third parties, first party, second party, whatever, also talk about how much engineering they have optimization help with. Xbox generally has to have people yell at them to help them work with people.
Yeah.
And I think that is more because of the funds than it is actually about them wanting to do something.
And I actually think
if Microsoft had, the knowledge that the reason why a lot of these games are skipping them is because that people don't want to work with Xboxes, they don't know about them.
Right.
And
I
really
really think
more
that maybe
optimistic in working with these developers.
I really think PlayStation might be the best company to work with in terms of marketing as well. That's not to say that we don't want to see Xbox market it. I just think for this specific title, it would be better if PlayStation did it.
Well,
but that's not saying that I don't want to see it on the Xbox.
Yeah.
And if people come to me and go, "Oh, you're an Xbox lover," well, first of all, I don't like Xbox any more than I like PlayStation. No more than I like my PC, but I do like them more than I like my Switch.
Be seen about Switch 2.
I'm Xbox focused. Like, that's my main platform by a mile.
And that's fine for me to do that. But I hate on my Switch because Nintendo, this thing's been a little long in the tooth. You got to stop it. You got to stop this. This is.
Where's the new Mario Kart?
Have you seen Mortal Kombat 1 Nintendo?
Have you seen the sales of the current Mario Kart? They're good.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Still in the top 20.
20,
every
yeah.
freaking
But then you
year.
release a new Mario Kart and it has like 15 tracks, and like the last one had 7,000. What are you
Yeah,
doing?
it was 10
Same
years
thing
of
as
Mario
Smash
Kart 8.
Brothers. They're like,
Yep.
what do you need 20 characters in
But
Smash
see,
Brothers?
okay, so
That's why Ultimate is.
that's
Ultimate.
Nintendo's prerogative and their mindset. And people say that, hey, they're doing so well, they're selling stuff, but they're taking stuff and they're recycling and regurgitating stuff. Do you want that forever? Do you want? I want something new, Nintendo. Great, you gave me this track for the umpteenth time. Let's give me something else now.
What do you mean this is not Rainbow Road Volume 16?
That's Nintendo. We'll talk about that in the next podcast. I don't want to talk about it right now. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that.
No, but the market, right? Going back to the marketing.
Yeah.
It's so crazy that people really ignore the fact that how important marketing is. And I personally just think that Xbox has just been living off a pretty person privilege. And they've just been so synonymous with tech across the world that they've never had to market anything. And now that you're in this position where you have this one arm of your company where you actually need to sell it, like you've never had to sell anything because it's always just been so embedded for the last umpteenth years. But now, yeah, no, this is what I'm saying. Like, you are literally the center of computer tech. Like, when I can go anywhere in the world and turn on a computer, and most likely it's going to be running Microsoft or Windows. And so knowing that they have this one arm that requires effort, and the name alone is not enough to drive it, and they just don't know what to do. It's like it's like a talent versus hard work thing. Like, they have all the talent, but it's just not putting in that extra effort because they don't know how and they've never had to.
I think a lot of the marketing as well too has kind of shifted where they're using a lot of social media stuff, and that's a lot of like algorithm based, because people are like, I never saw any advertisement for Hellblade 2, and I'm like, well, one, it was at every single award show basically with like a 5 to 10 minute thing, so there was tons of it there, and like the week up until release, it was my entire Twitter feed, and then I would see someone going, I haven't seen anything for Hellblade 2, and I'm like, I have seen so much of it.
But then also the issue is, and actually going with that is, that's the other point I was going to say, is PlayStation is still on the ground. Like, they go and meet the people where they're at. PlayStation before, Astro Boy 2 isn't even out yet, and they had like a whole carnival booth set up. Like, they were having like a get together. I wish I had the article still.
Yeah.
And they were having carnival games and whatnot built around Astro Boy. And it's like, who would think the one company is hard to get a hold of is still out there doing on the ground? I mean, even what was it, Super Bowl? They had God of War. Like, it just, they're embedded and they're marketing every game, it seems like with the way that last time I seen they weren't even Microsoft at the time. I'm thinking Fallout 4. That was the last game that I seen like mass marketed, but that wasn't even under Xbox at the time. So.
No. Yeah, I think advertising is kind of changed a lot, but yeah, like it's a huge different thing of like buying the side of a bus than being on Twitter and stuff like that. It just depends on where the eyes are kind of focused on it. Like those like cool like 3D kind of looking ones on the side of buildings, like a tiger like reaching out of it and stuff. Like I think the advertising's there for a lot of stuff. It's just, I think they are focusing on a lot of that algorithm kind of based stuff. And if you're not actively looking for similar things like that, the algorithm skips you, like I think Sony does a lot better job in terms of its advertising. Nintendo is Nintendoing. And I mean, they'll do everything they can like that way. But then you take a look at something like Steam, there's no advertisement at all.
No.
Yeah.
Other than Steam
biggest email marketing. That is the biggest email marketing company ever.
Yeah, but Steam is a completely different beast because they don't have any skin in the game. They
have a VR headset, and they have Alex on there. Like like they've got stuff. They're very similar to like Blizzard in a way where their releases are like these tentpole type of things.
Right.
And so like they have their headset, they have Alex, which has still not come to PlayStation VR. I mean, it will if you use the PlayStation VR.
They had.
Yeah, because like I own it on my laptop, but I don't have my friend's Microsoft not HoloLens, but their AR headset, so I can't play it anymore until the PlayStation because I have VR2 right there, and it's been
It'll be here soon.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get Steam is a little different. Like outside of what you mentioned, they don't really have anything to say, hey, this is ours. We need a commercial for. I mean, they benefit off everybody's back.
Absolutely.
True.
Everybody's always like, hey, here's our Steam game.
Right.
Yeah. I was gonna. Yeah.
You can play
every PR email, everything.
You know, and hey, NBA 2K24, it's all PC, Xbox. Oh, it's on a PC too. All right, here's
Steam.
Here's Call of Duty coming to PC.
Steam. Yep.
So,
Epic Store exclusive.
Yeah.
The day we get to Valve going, system exclusive, we like, wait, we got a problem here. That's just back this up. Where did this happen, Valve? This is not you. You don't do this. Because one, we already know it's exclusive, but then when something was exclusive to your platform, when it was eventually, you brought it to consoles. So you're not complete innocent. We see you, Valve. But let's go ahead and move on. We got a couple more things here, and unfortunately, we got some depressing news to talk about this time around. But you know what? Let's talk about Avowed because we did not cover this, Jeff, or whoever put this on here.
I did. Yeah.
Okay, so Jeff put it on. Jeff, it's your topic. Go for it.
Yeah, Avowed. Bring it over here. Where is it? Oh my God, Scott. Avowed has been delayed until early 2025. I think it's shooting for February. Previously had been kind of leaked that it was going to be in November, and then some things shuffled around, and they kind of want to like move it away so that the game has like a healthy kind of release schedule. It's not sandwiched in between so much stuff, or like released alongside the exact same type of things and stuff. So I think it's shooting for February. February 18th.
Yeah, February 18th, 2025. And you know what? That is the right move.
Yes.
I think it's fair. You don't want to have it compete with so many RPGs and other games basically this year alone.
It's ridiculous. I mean, outside of what Xbox are releasing, because it's like what? We'll just lump them in.
Starfield DLC coming out.
Well, they got Indiana Jones still coming out this year.
Indiana Jones that's supposedly coming out still.
6, Flight Simulator. You got the Starfield.
But I'm gonna tell you though, where they mess up once again is in the marketing because they don't know how to deliver a gut punch. Like here it is. Okay, they could at least, hey, here's a third-party deal that's going to be making its way to Game Pass. By the way, we do have to delay. Like they just give nothing but bad news, and then like a week or two later, we'll give great news.
A lot of the Game Pass stuff.
You want them to do the Bungie delivery now?
Yes, no, because it matters. Because guess what? The Bungie thing, right? I'm trying not to jump ahead. That was the example I was going to use. You tell some of the worst news ever, but then you slide in for the gamers who don't care about any of this, and all they want to do is play the next game. It's, oh, by the way, we got a game coming. Like, you know what I mean? A new studio is being developed. Like, you don't, because everybody's not us. We live in the weeds of this. Like, we live and breathe this. Everybody else doesn't. So when you just all you're known for is big color splash messaging, like, hey, here's you see the color. Yeah,
but then you get that Bungie game where they're like, like, hey, we got a new game coming, it'll be out for like 6 years. But like that kind of thing. It's the exact same type of energy of when they're like, hey, we have a new Hideo Kojima game coming out 7 years from now.
Pretty much.
It's that same thing, right? So it's like, and not to mention like when that Sony deal basically started, and I'll jump off the Bungie wagon there. Originally, they were going to have complete autonomy, like they weren't going to have that type of thing, and then now suddenly they are. But
welcome to the fold.
but,
Come on, man. That entire
like,
damn thing.
in terms of like Avowed, though, like you know,
Yes.
saying like having like the Game Pass gut punch, a lot of those Game Pass deals don't come like they don't get signed until like a month out, pretty much. So like it is very difficult for them to be like, hey, here's our Game Pass type of thing coming for November or whatever, when they're already promoting Call of Duty coming out in November, and they're like, yeah, here's another Game Pass game we're going to cannibalize by putting it against the most popular game of the year.
Sure.
So I think giving Game Pass November for Call of Duty is the only play.
That's fair.
Because, you know, it's like anything going like, we're going to release on September 15th, and then Take-Two Interactive goes, Grand Theft Auto is going to be coming out on September 18th, and then other teams like,
Move the game. Move it. Either launch it today or move it. Actually, that would actually.
We're going to do Titanfall 3 on September 18th.
It's going to be a Horizon game that does that.
Oh.
Can you imagine?
Third time's a charm, the Lego
Horizon
game.
3,
The Horizon Lego game.
Can you imagine if Horizon 3 and Titanfall 3 come out on the exact same day?
Oh my God.
Battle of the Threes. Which one will die?
Hey,
You
we need
know,
that
look,
Half-Life
proof
3
is in the pudding.
while we're waiting.
Oh,
We haven't
jeez.
forgotten Valve.
Alex is technically Half-Life 3.
No, it's not. Don't
It's
do that.
technically-
No.
Just like the
Just
new
say
Arkham series is
VR
the
Arkham 4.
Okay, no, I love bringing it up anytime it's talked about because we were there in person at the Summer Games Fest when they announced it. The collective was amazing because it looked so cool. I was like I got hyped. Yeah, I was like, yes. And then I was like, oh, Scarecrow, Rat King, like legit, like just VR. Oh, it was sad.
Yeah,
it
that was
was.
unfortunate. But I really do think that delaying this till February is definitely the right move.
Yes.
And outside of what Xbox has planned, there's a ton of games that are coming out this year. I mean, Madden, Black Myth Wukong, Conquer. Say what you want to say. I haven't given up on it. Visions of Mana. We've got Age of Mythology. We've got so many games coming out. Space
Stalker.
Marines 2. I'm all over Space Marines 2.
That
Nothing
does
getting
look
in my
epic.
way.
That does.
Nothing's
look so
getting
That's
in
the
my
only
way.
thing coming out for the rest of the year that could take my game of the year away from Stellar Blade.
You know,
Wow.
there's just so many games. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Fantasio.
I'm ready to break the control. It's going down.
There's so much.
Yes,
I'm done replaying the same storyline for the 7,000th time though.
You know, it was the
That's
right
what the
choice
what
to
if
delay the
section's
game, and
for.
I don't know who made that call, but whoever did, you made a good one, because there's so many companies that have so many people at the upper end. The developers get the blame, even though they're not the ones who make the call. It's usually the upper management, the investors, both that are ignorant to what's coming out, and they go to release the game. Then they go, well, the game didn't sell as many copies as we expected. Well, we expect there's like 15 other games that get released at the same time as this game did.
Yeah, and the tough thing about it as well too is you never know when an indie game is just going to completely
Right?
Yeah.
become this like Among Us or like that other one where you go down and all the characters are
Cocoon.
like this.
Then you have like Vampire
Lethal
Survivors, Lethal
Yeah.
Company.
Yeah, like you never know when that kind of thing goes.
Or bananas.
It just sucks the air out of the room.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see that it's delayed. I mean, I really want to play it, but delaying it is the right thing to do.
Yeah. Avowed is probably my most desired first party game from Xbox. So parts release have it at the same time. There's so much going on at the end
What?
of this year.
You know
Reborn?
what's so sad though is it's gonna suffer from recency bias when it comes to the award season. That's the only sad part about it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, people have already forgotten about Helldivers as if it wasn't controlled the first half of the year. Like, you know.
Well, there's a reason for that. And I mean,
Yeah.
Question for each of you: Avowed, are you playing in third person or first person?
First person.
Yes.
third person.
First.
I played it both.
First.
Most
Third.
likely.
I want to see my character.
You know what? I've tried to play Obsidian and Bethesda games in third person. I don't know why, I just can't.
I just find the shooting more like I used to be big in first person shooters, and then when so many of them started adding little things to the guns, and I'm like, I can't even see what I'm shooting at. So if I can do in third person and see a little cursor and like pop their headshot, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, like let's go.
Get that Gears of War experience.
Yeah.
So like for me, third person, totally.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean,
I generally
RPGs and
alternate
action
based on
RPGs, I got to see the character now. So no more of this first person stuff. Leave that for the shooters. I got to see my character.
I don't know why. I feel so alone out here. But
that's why, like, I'm excited to play Marvel Rivals because I can actually see the character. Whereas with an Overwatch, they sell you skins, and it's like, ooh, I can see the gloves.
You can't see.
I can see the gloves.
And your kill cam, like you're murdered.
There's my skin.
Yeah. Oh look! He got me.
God.
I paid good money for that.
Kill me again. I want to see it.
All right. So, the worst for last, unfortunately. Bungie, who we hinted at recently in this podcast, was hit with more layoffs. They had layoffs in it was October or November 2023, and now we have more layoffs. There's about 20 people, or 17% of the studio's workforce, was let go, in addition to 155 people, which is like 12% of the workforce, transition or is transitioning over to PlayStation. There also is a new studio that was announced by Blizzard, which is Baron was hitting at. And they're like, hey guys, by the way, we're firing all these people,
but
we're doing this. So it's and I was getting to it. Yeah, two of the biggest people in the Bungie camp, Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy, they're gone.
Yep.
And apparently, well, who wrote this? Who's writing this? Is it you, Jeff?
Yeah.
Take it. All yours.
Yeah. So Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy, they apparently left because the cancellation of the Payback project, that was the game that they were working on. So because that was canceled, they basically just left. So like, again, like Bungie, everybody wants to think Bungie is the same Bungie that made Halo. But the majority of those people didn't stick with it, and the majority of the people that did are now kind of leaving. So Bungie is this new beast that's kind of grown since Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. And it's a very different team. Like, it's the name's there, but when everybody thinks Bungie, they're thinking of the people that are just no longer there, and that's kind of what's happening here.
Excuse me. I have nothing to say.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say. I said when PlayStation acquired Bungie, I had said that this is BS. This was nothing but Microsoft, Xbox acquired.
It was nothing but a power play.
Yeah.
Well, was it Sony acquired Bungie, not PlayStation?
Yeah, it was the first time they
bought
said
them for
Sony
their
instead of PlayStation Studios.
And it was like, hey, this doesn't seem like the right move. And of course, Sony is like, oh no, they're going to have full autonomy. We're not going to touch them.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever going to happen to them.
We're going to let Bungie just do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And
they've negated on
what they want to
every
do,
part
they
of that
know
deal.
What they want to do.
Yeah, it's like, what was it? What is that Star Wars meme? This still keeps getting worse by the minute or something like that.
Pray I don't alter
it further.
Yeah,
it's completely done. It's completely done. Honestly, I don't see Bungie surviving on their own. They have not yet to be fully absorbed by PlayStation, but this is happening.
No.
And apparently layoffs were coming already despite leading into the final shape. Like, no matter how much that game was going to sell, they were already looking to cut.
Right.
And like even a year ago, Bungie's like, hey, don't worry, we're not cutting anything. And then cut a year later, hey guys, we're cutting everything.
Right. So what was it, like 1.5 or something? 1.5 million or something.
Race to the bottom.
Sony had paid Bungie not to let go of people.
Yeah.
They paid them.
Yeah.
They knew the layoffs were. Look, the layoffs are coming. Let me give you some money. Hang on. Don't do it yet.
But that money went towards the CEO's cars.
Yeah,
he needed a new
that's
Mustang.
the worst part about it.
That was
CEO just,
scummy
like,
as hell.
basically
He needed
shuffled it
50
under their
Mustangs.
mattress.
Right? Why did he need so many goddamn cars? Who needs that many cars?
Jay Leno.
The reference material for his Destiny project. No.
It's just such a race to the bottom. Like,
It's a damn shame. That's what it is.
It is.
Shame.
It reminds me of the CEO of like Retro when they fired that one guy who was just basically hiring strippers and buying cars and stuff. And then he left to
I
make
did
the
not hear
Guy
about
game.
that one.
yeah, I didn't know about this one.
Oh God, watch the how it happened on I think Metroid Prime. Because like that guy,
no.
he I can't remember his name though, but he ended up leaving, and then the next game he went to make was the Guy game, that motion captured, like that full motion video, like beach game with all the girls taking their tops off and stuff. That guy was in charge of Retro Studios.
That's terrible. That's
Oh
terrible.
my gosh.
But let's circle back to this real quick. So you acquired the studio. You made a backroom deal not to fire anybody. You knew that you eventually were going to fire people. You made a deal not to fire people because obviously it'd be bad. It'd be bad
PR.
Yeah, bad.
Yep,
PR.
it would look horrible.
So now it comes full light that you already plan on firing people. The studio is not doing as well as you were making everybody seem it was. Your CEO is buying cars, and you're letting go. You've let go 255 people this year, and what was it? What was it last year? 220. Excuse me. Like 100. What was it last year? Let me see.
I don't remember the numbers.
Something like
Let's
that.
see.
Bungie's?
Bungie.
It was like 228 or something.
They let go 8%, so about 100.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they had
900.
1,200 employees. So they got rid of 100. So obviously that's 1,100, and they got rid of 220 this time.
Yeah.
So 880 and 100 and what is it? How many are going to PlayStation?
That's almost enough people to make a whole other game.
155 people.
They're
A
having
whole other
155
big
people
game,
being
not just a
done.
game,
Yeah.
a big game.
Yeah.
Like that's
That's like
Bungie's
half
big
an
as it
Assassin's
because of
Creed
the
right there.
Web
no, but that's what I'm
This is
saying.
different.
Like
This is
with
ridiculous.
one-to-one aspects, like of building designs.
So
like,
now
we got the
Bungie
city
has-
down to the streets.
So now Bungie has 725 people. Keep in mind that they need to keep working on Bungie, which they're probably going to lose more people. They're working on working on
Destiny.
hell, Jesus Christ, Destiny right now, Destiny 2 right now.
Destiny 2.
There are no spin-offs because
No.
that was canceled. They won't be doing expansions anymore. There'll be smaller chunks, DLC things, and they're still working on Marathon until we hear that Marathon is canceled. Calling it Marathon's going to get canceled.
I believe it.
And they have a new studio that's being created within the PlayStation family. So what's to say that new studio is not going to absorb what we know as Bungie today?
Yeah, and I mean, pretty much again, like I mentioned before, anybody that is responsible for Bungie becoming Bungie is just not there anymore.
Yeah.
Well, if this was Xbox, everybody'd be complaining, but it's PlayStation doing this crap. So it's cool.
I
And
don't know if
that's
I'd even
because-
blame PlayStation.
Smart business strategy,
but-
PlayStation. You did it.
I mean, it was dumb for them to acquire them, but
Right,
you also
winning.
have to remember Bungie only had like 700 people when they first got acquired by Sony. They
Right.
went on a humongous hiring spree, got like 1,500 people to be in Bungie, so they could basically require more money from Sony to keep the employees. And then because of that, they had a lot of people that apparently weren't doing anything because it just had numbers. And that's when they started doing
Business,
not really
numbers,
layoffs, but they
numbers.
started like moving them around. And then we started getting layoffs. And
But-
it moved
but,
from
you know-
1,300 people to 800.
I can understand that because that's typical business. They do that.
Yeah.
But when you pay me to not let go of people, but you know you're letting go of them.
I wonder if we're gonna hit like. I feel like we're getting a renaissance in the film space, right? Where we're seeing like a lot of cheaper, dope movies being made.
Yeah.
You got A24 coming out swinging for the fences with a bunch of different stuff. You're getting and then I think I forgot what the director's name is, but he was like, instead of making one, $20 million movie, how about we make $20 million movies? You would hope with all this over hiring, it would have been, let's make smaller games. Like
Right.
There's nothing wrong with a good, like, I'm looking forward to, what is it, the Space Marines too. because it's going to be a big game, but I got a feeling it's going to be a linear, cinematic, crazy action experience. Like that's what I envision.
To me, it's a game that looks expensive, but
yes,
is probably like it's like one of those things where it's like you walk into somebody's house, you're like, this is amazing. They're like, how much does this cost? 14 grand, and people are like, bullshit.
What? Yeah. No, and I'm like, I'm thinking of 360 games. Like there's nothing. Those 360 games stand the test of time for a reason.
Theory.
Yeah, no, you see what I'm saying? So where are these titles? We had a few. What was the cowboy game where you were hunting vampires?
What was that?
Evil West.
Yes, Evil West. What just came out recently? Even though it did look more, Flintlock.
Yeah.
But you would think we would just have a crap ton of those. And there's nothing wrong with that.
It's very risky for a lot of publishers, and they're like, we can't afford a 7 out of 10. IGN won't even look at us.
So SEO ruined everything. That's all I just heard. I just heard SEO ruined everything.
Everybody wants to be now the new Yakuza, but they can't afford people to look at them that way.
Yeah. God,
don't get me started. I'm sitting here. I'm trying not to. I'm just sitting here because everything that you just said is stuff that I've been saying. And
I would love more AA games and things like that. Like, even though I didn't exactly like hit with Flintlock, even though it looked like it checked all those boxes. I love those games so much. But I mean, most of those studios have gone the way. Like, Piranha Bytes just left, so no more Elix 3. Like, there's another Eurojank studio just gone.
And
then they showed off Gothic, the remake, which is originally made by Piranha Bytes, but this is a whole new team making it. So, I mean, it looks great, sure, whatever, but I don't know. And even
Eurojank is special.
Spiders, like Eurojank is my favorite genre. Like, I'm super excited for like Greedfall 2, but then it's diving deeper into Dragon Age 1 combat, and I'm like, no, because I love spiders.
Speaking about Dragon Age, I want to move on because this one hurts.
Yeah.
Game Informer is gone. Game Informer is gone. After 33 years, Game Informer is gone by a company that lives up to its name, GameStop.
I thought you were grabbing a violin for a second there, and just
it's so crazy. And I recommend, if you guys got rid of your classics, quickly go and order your favorites before people realize what happened, and they cost $80 to get a $12 magazine.
Scalpers get ahead.
I don't know if I own a single Game Informer. Like,
it's been a while since I got physical ones because I had to do digital subscriptions for a while.
Yeah. Like, everyone talks about like their history with Game Informer, but I never had a history with it. Like, I lucked out and played the first Remnant, I think, with Andrew Reiner, like back when he was like working there, and because he was on my friends list, and I'm like, that's the guy I played that game with, and all of a sudden he's playing a game that wasn't out yet, and I researched who he was, and I'm like, oh god, he
right. Like,
but no, like, for me, my history growing up was EGM, it was PSM, it was Game. Like, it was the classics, you know. Gotcha. Like, Game Informer was just never my era.
You know what really sucks? We're going to talk about Game Informer, but Game Informer was the spot to go to for coverage on Dragon Age, the Vanguard.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
And now you can't go to the website because the website's down because GameStop took the website down.
Yeah. People couldn't even back up stuff. I'm just wondering if like there was like some Game Informer fan just backing up everything or whatever like that. And all of a sudden he's like, here's
there
the
apparently
treasure.
Was.
No, there was. There's a
I
think it's Min
server for it.
Yeah, Min Media or something like that. They have a whole Discord where they're going in and grabbing as much as they can.
Yeah, getting them from the archives, but a lot of the archives isn't there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I just couldn't imagine like my entirety, like especially if a lot of my bylines were there. And
that's
like
why I've started
a lot of my core
reviews on Google Docs, so like I have that backup.
Yeah,
but
no, and that's sad. That it's sad.
But see, this is not a technical thing, and this is a problem that I have with this. This is not because a web server went down. Most people have. Wow, I'm losing my voice big time here. Most websites that do this kind of thing, they have backups. Like we have backups in case the Outer Haven goes down. We have backups. We're backed up every night, and we keep 5 copies of everything that we do in case something happens. This was a choice to take down their website.
Yeah, they had to actively take it down.
Yeah, evil.
It wasn't just letting something
with a chat
roll over.
GBT message.
Yeah, 100% AI. Not even like a 60 or a 50. It was 100%.
Somebody compared that to they did one.
Jason Schreier.
Pretty much the same thing, and they were like, "Yeah, but it's very similar." So I can't see why somebody would do this. Okay, Game Informer wasn't doing well. I get it. I can understand that. But for you to just go, oh, next day, goodbye. You're gone. You have no job.
Yeah, that's just poor planning.
Website. You're out. Yeah.
Like if you knew that it wasn't making money, that you needed to cut it a specific quarter, you should have told them before the quarter ended.
Yeah.
Right. You should have said something, but you didn't do any of that. You didn't do any of that to your employees.
No, it's just like the equivalent of going to like a brick and mortar store and all the doors are taped shut and you're like, we're done.
Yeah.
Like that's what happened when Future Shop left in Canada.
No respect. There's no respect whatsoever. I'm so frustrated. I'm so mad for this. And as I mentioned to some people, Game Informer was one of my big inspirations for the site. I loved Game Informer. I watched every website. I read every magazine. I'm pretty old, as you can see. I've been around for a minute. But Game Informer was it was grounded. Yeah. It was one that you could relate to. And it was like, this is good shit. And then just gone. I can't get around the fact that it's just gone. And the fact that you've got all these people and you've just ruined their livelihoods. What have you done? Well, I worked for GameStop for 20 years of my life, and all my stuff was on their website, in their magazines, and it's gone.
You know what's even crazier is, for me, within the last 2 years, I barely found out that the team was less than 20 people.
Yeah. They kept getting rid of people.
Yeah, like to have a team less than 20 people produce one of the top gaming magazines, like, and then to like, what planet are you telling me the budget is just too much? Like, no, do you know what I mean? Like, here it is. I'm not comparing people's pains, but you just had Bungie let go of an entire. You know what I'm like? It's evil the way they went about it, and it's a legitimate race to the bottom, and this chasing infinite growth will be the death of everything we love. Not even we're profitable. It's no, we're not more profitable than we were last year. Like it's ugly and
dangerous mindset.
Yeah, it's cancerous. Like
this started back in 2022. If anybody remembers, they got rid of their CFO back, was it 2022? Wasn't even there that long. And during that time, they also started getting rid of Game Informer people. This is when the staff started getting smaller. Yeah. And it just went from there. I don't have anything to say other than I'm really pissed off. I'm sad for the people, and these people are getting dumped into an industry that already has people looking for jobs.
Yeah,
and we've already just seen with Second Wind, you trying to start up your own website or space doesn't always work.
No,
go ahead, Jeff.
The thing with a lot of the jobs that are kind of like that people are looking for is they're looking for these jobs that basically describe 2 or 3 people's job as one because they're cutting the cost, right? So they're like, we need to do this. And I've seen people reply going like, that's 3 people's jobs.
Yeah.
Like you want that, you're paying like this for that.
That's
Like,
everywhere now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm looking for a job, and I'm looking at some of these jobs: system engineer, system developer, or some system administrator. They're like, we want a network administrator, we want somebody that can do database. So I'm like, dude, that's
And that's a whole other thing.
that's like what? That's not a system administrator job. What?
Yeah.
The job market sucks, and
Yeah.
this job market sucks even more because we're seeing layoff after layoff after layoff. Because honestly, here's my beef. You got companies that get into gaming that have no idea what they're doing. They don't want to ride it out when things get rough. Gaming has downs. It has dips. It really does. The game industry has its fair share of ups and downs. And then this is perpetuated when you have YouTube, you have social media. What do you want them to do? But here's the funny thing though is the people that do the YouTube and shit, where do you think they get the information from?
Game Informer, like I just it's so nuts. Like that's why you bring it up. Dragon Age, like there was literally no other major coverage, no other deep dives,
nobody.
If it was, it's man.
And now
then what's crazy is
you can't even go to Game Informer's website to get the information now. It's gone. It's one of the pages that wasn't cached. It's gone.
And the guy who was working on it, he was on a work trip home when he found out that he was let go, that everything was closed.
He was Imran Khan.
Yeah. God, man.
My job did the same shit to me when I was coming back from Summer Game Fest, and they kept trying to call me, and I was like, I'm not answering the phone. I'm on vacation. Until I finally get back and like, oh, hey, we need to have this call. It's garbage. If you're going to fire me, have the balls to talk to me directly. Don't and if you know I'm on vacation, let me finish my vacation before you decide to uproot my entire life.
Have some proper respect.
None. And what about all the money that EA paid GameStop for this? There's definitely going to be
spent it on more bobbleheads and
spent it on
bobbleheads. Needs to be a lawsuit about this. They need to go. So we paid you to cover this game, and this is gone. So where's my coverage? What's going on? So now they have to shift to IGN,
which owns everything else is on
IGN. So yeah, I guess.
And I wouldn't be a bit surprised if most of those companies that IGN has put under their umbrella just go away.
Well, that was something I seen somebody tweet out. They were like, "Isn't it weird that IGN doesn't have the money to buy and save Game Informer?" Like you would have thought that would have been something they swooped in on.
No, they wouldn't do it. There's no reason for IGN to buy. That would be redundant.
What do you mean redundant? Redundancy doesn't matter with them. They bought everything else.
You want me to buy a company that does what we do?
That's exactly what they've been doing.
Let those people eventually.
Yeah, it's man, it's scary to see. And it's not even like old man yelling at clouds. It's just I feel like we're hitting everything is cyclic, and we're getting into a point where people want to hold things, and physical is matters again. And to see it hit its move, people are happy. I was one of those folks posting every time my Game Informer came in, and then to all of a sudden it's like, hey, we made this big push to come back to physical, and now it doesn't matter because it doesn't exist anymore. Your last one's in the mail, guys. They literally that. Man.
It sucks.
And the thing too is a lot of these guys are going to create their own things where they're all crowdfunded, but that reaches a ceiling to the point of how much money are you expecting a lot of these people to have when they are already supporting 2 or 3 other outlets and stuff. So there eventually hits a ceiling because you get a lot of people that have left all these major publications to create Second Wind and to create all this other kind of stuff. Eventually it just gets to a point where you've tapped out of your audience essentially.
Yeah. But you know what though? I hope they I remember talking to somebody on the team and I was like, if you guys did a quarterly or biannual hardcover of just a big wrap up, I think of Lost in Colt.
Yeah,
like maybe that's a way you guys could survive, or just something, because it's just too much talent. It's too much history, too much talent.
Yeah.
They're trying to
And
do something right now. I don't know if you saw on Twitter, they're asking people if they know anybody who can provide computers or stuff so they can.
Yeah, because a lot of that stuff's all company based and stuff.
Yeah.
They were like, we don't have anything, cameras, nothing. I'm like, holy hell, like just a crap show.
It's tough for these a lot of places like that have a lot of established names. Like
you got PAX coming up.
They would have been kind of
Gamescom. They would have been at Gamescom. Nothing. It's gone.
Just a whole arm of the industry.
Scott, I need you to play the lottery, please. Help these people out. We know your luck there, buddy. Help us out.
Getting a few scratch cards.
There you go.
Ridiculous. I have nothing else to say. Does anybody have anything else that might be positive? Because I'm very frustrated now. This is bullshit.
I don't know if you guys covered the little story twist that's been happening with the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game. That was the most predictable thing ever in the history of that title.
I saw that they were bringing back everybody. Oh, we're gonna kill them all to bring them back to life.
What comic books go brr?
Somebody was yelling on Twitter like, "Have you not read comic books?" I was like, "That's not the point, buddy.
It's a video game. Yeah.
It's
like I wouldn't be a bit surprised now if the start menu says Suicide Squad saved the Justice League now.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's where it's going. Like, honestly, if that hook would have been at the end of the actual main game, I probably would have just kept playing through it. But instead, everyone's like, yeah, there's no way they're actually killing them. These are clones. Turns out they were right.
Oh, look. Oh, it's...
You ever read a comic book before? No.
So here's the thing, though. We probably haven't seen the last of Kevin Conroy's Batman. Then
no, we probably haven't.
We need to know. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. God.
No, he probably recorded more for when you save him.
Yeah.
Because if you played the game, you know that they were planning to have 13 seasons of their live service game.
Another stupid.
Still
Brainiac.
fighting Brainiac.
And then, honestly, whoever is the character designer for that Mrs. Freeze just needs replace
not
them.
The best gender bent I've seen.
Also, like they turned Mrs. Freeze into like a Karen. Like she just looks like a Karen.
I haven't actually did the next season. I've still been only doing season 1, so I can get Joker.
How do you guys feel about the game? Because for me, even before all the reviews, I didn't. It wasn't my type of game.
It was a waste of my money.
Well,
I got the game for free from Amazon.
I got it for free too. I mean, my problem is I don't find the gameplay that bad. I do find the story pretty decent. It's just the live service element make it suck, like hardcore.
It just feels like they just shoved all the live service stuff in because, like, I don't know. I think the gameplay is still incredibly repetitive in terms of like the stuff that you're actually doing and the traversal and stuff. Because like Metropolis doesn't feel like Metropolis. It just feels like a amusement park of the stuff we would expect to see in Metropolis. Whereas you play like Arkham City or whatever, and it feels like Arkham City. It
the
feels like that.
It's a lot better in the Arkham games.
And then like they're just like, hey, how can we have it feel like Metropolis? Well, did you play Avengers? They did A Day. Why don't we just do Justice League Day? And that's what they did. It's the exact same thing. And I don't know. It's just a very, very weird game that was just not great. And then they had the things where like, oh, you can only kill these enemies if you have these particular like skills, but then they don't put the enemies around them that drop those skills to kill the enemies. So then you're in this loop of not being able to do damage to some of the enemies, and it was just messed up.
Some of those missions really suck, and I hate like pretty much all the live service elements of it.
Yeah,
it's so grindy. It doesn't need to be.
But yeah, it's and now Rocksteady is a support studio for Hogwarts Legacy Definitive Edition.
Quidditch is coming.
Yeah,
that doesn't look very
You can't put Quidditch in this
either.
game because we need to sell like PS2 looking Quidditch game next year.
And at least in the future we'll get to see the Nemesis system again.
Hopefully that's a
in
good
the canceled
the
Wonder Woman
good way
game.
that
Yeah,
you do it.
Is it okay? No, I'm not gonna do it. Nope.
Too late. You already said it. You already opened your mouth. What is it? What is it?
Is it? It's bad that I want to see the Nemesis system freed almost at any cost.
Yes.
That's not bad at all.
No,
That's actually
like-
a good thing.
It's great.
No, because look, the Nemesis system was supposed to be that thing we complained about in open world games that's become cliche. Like, oh, great. Like, it was supposed to be that next thing. We had the clearing the bases. We had the like loot. It was supposed to be the future. We were supposed to be so sick of that random NPC who gets to become a god because he killed you twice while you were mid-mission. We needed to be tired of this.
I would love an open world TMNT game that has the Nemesis system. Because then it's just a whole bunch of weird mutations that Shredder is like popping out and stuff. And then you can have all the weird shit.
There's not one open world game that wouldn't benefit from the Nemesis system. Like we could just shotgun games out and it would be a million times. Could you imagine Fallout 4?
I cannot. I would not like to see a Nemesis system in a Souls-like game. No thanks.
Oh no!
Fuck! That 5-headed dragons come back with armor now. Shit!
Yep.
But wait,
I'm good.
But think about the content that would get made. Like Skelly Man becomes Skelly God. Like he all turns to a Lex Lord.
I hear
tutorial.
Going,
all I hear
hey,
is money.
this game is too hard.
Yes,
this game is too hard.
This is the future. It was seriously the future of open world games, like without question. And it's so disgusting that it's locked away in some tower that refuses to collapse.
Like Warner Brothers just licensed that idea out, going anybody that wants it, just pay us $80,000 and you're good. And then all of a sudden Warner Brothers like, where's all this money coming from?
I mean,
man,
to do that. That's how they get a lot of money. It's just patenting ideas.
Oh, Nemesis system. You gave us the best of gaming, and then he disappeared.
Okay, before we go, let me tell you how much I love the Nemesis system. in Shadow of Mordor, I didn't unlock the full. I guess I didn't clear the full tutorial of the game because I was so engulfed in the war aspect of like I 100 and some hours, and I didn't fully unlock all my basic abilities just because I kept running around getting the generals to fight each other and moving my guy up the ranks. It was just, I was hooked on that portion. Still to this day, I haven't beat it. And all I've done is just do that, the Nemesis system. Like that. That's all I did in the game. That was a game in itself. And
it sounds like somebody needs to revisit a couple games.
Oh no! Don't get me started. My backlog is out of this world. Don't.
I just like how they locked the true ending of Mordor 2 behind YouTube. Apparently, you can just go and watch the last ending without grinding 700 hours to eventually unlock that ending.
Yeah,
you can
that
just go to
was
YouTube
the bad part
watch it.
Shadow of War.
Yeah, you can just go to YouTube and watch the ending. Because that game was great until then.
Yeah,
it's like, but no, I'm interested to see what they do with Wonder Woman. I mean, like, I don't think she has an interesting rogues gallery that's going to make that system, I think, feel as impactful. No. But then again, we got generic orcs out of that game, and we loved it. So
yeah,
like Chitara just keeps getting, or Cheetah, or whatever, keeps getting. Chitara just keeps getting armor.
Maybe Artemis to show up. Like,
just
I don't know.
On armor.
Yeah.
You guys are just making yourself sad. You do realize this, right? You're just depressing yourself.
That's my secret.
Yeah. That's the key.
Imagine Batman with the Nemesis system, and we had to keep doing Man-Bat getting stronger and stronger.
Oh, God.
He's got more armor.
Man-Bat now has a full-on Batman armor on him.
Yeah, we're going to stop the show now.
He's got tanks just clambered over him and stuff like that. Deathstroke.
Thug number 2 has evolved to Thug Alpha.
Yeah, we're gonna
Alpha Prime.
Eventually, we're trying to. These guys won't shut up.
What
they
if
won't
this
stop.
podcast had the Nemesis system?
There you go.
Time you canceled the podcast,
we've evolved.
came back
there you
with
go.
Armor.
Oh my God! Okay, guys, thanks for checking out Spectator Mode Podcast, episode 162. We thanks by our buddies here, Jeff, Baron, Scott, for making this podcast unbelievable and talking about the Nemesis system. Did not expect that. As always, guys, you can catch us on the Amazon Podcast, Google Podcast. YouTube Podcast. That's not a thing anymore. Apple Podcast, Buzzsprout, Spotify, theouterhaven.net. And you know what? I don't want to be selfish. Jeff, where can they find you at?
You can find me at my little slice of heaven at analogstategaming.com.
All right. And Baron, what about you, sir?
LV1Gaming.com.
All right, folks. So you know where to go. Check them out. I'm Keith. That's Jeff, Baron, and Scott. We are out of here. Thank you.
See ya.